Hey, welcome to Menopause Monday. So in today's Menopause Monday, I'm actually going to cover a topic which I often get asked privately by a lot of people, but I want to address it publicly because it's something that a lot of menopausal ladies struggle with. So do not think it's just you. It's not, I absolutely promise. So today's topic is about getting sweaty, predominantly in the groin area. This seems to cause a lot of concern, and it's probably one of those things that's quite difficult to bring up with your doctor or even your best friend. So unfortunately, body odor and sweaty groins are something we can add to the list of menopausal symptoms. Just one of the many. The good thing is it can be, there are tips and strategies that I can share with you that are going to help reduce that and improve it. So you also may have noticed that as you're approaching, or if you're into menopause, you may be smelling slightly differently. You might be noticing that the deodorant and the antiperspirant that you've been wearing for years just isn't working as well as it used to do anymore. You might even feel that in your armpits, you're stickier or feel just heavier. And while these changes are not particularly pleasant, they are absolutely normal. So don't think it's just you, it's not. And, you know, as we know, as we get into perimenopause and beyond the menopause, hot flashes become a real problem, and our body's temperature control can go all over the shop. So your body thinks that you're too hot, which sets off a dilation process, which is when we go red, and then we sweat to cool ourselves down. So that's sort of anatomy working as it needs to. But why do we get those hot flashes? There's still some uncertainty out there about actually what causes a hot flash. But it's due to vasomotor instability, which leads to our volcanic eruptions. And from the scientific papers that I've read, the most likely cause seems to be the feedback loop from between the hypothalamus in the brain and the adrenals and our ovaries. And that creates like a flushing response. It can also make us have palpitations and make us feel uncomfortable. I don't know about you, but when I have a hot flush, it's not just about getting hot. I feel really uncomfortable in my body. It's almost like I've got like a fizzing thing going on, and almost feeling like nauseous, but I don't feel nauseous. It's just a really horrible feeling that I get on the run up to the hot flush and during it. So anyway, as we go through the menopause, as our ovaries go into retirement, it's the adrenal glands that actually sort of back up the job of the ovaries. And there's the feedback loop between the ovaries and the brain, and the brains and the adrenal glands. And it's that feedback loop that creates that instability and which causes those symptoms. So the trigger of a hot flash technically is a weakness in the adrenals, which creates the sort of abrupt decrease of estrogen. So ideally, we want to be focusing on supporting our adrenal health. That is going to help reduce your symptoms of menopause. And when I learned about that connection, I changed my lifestyle, just a few little tweaks, and it made such a massive difference. So I changed what I was eating, even though I ate healthily already. I changed how I exercised. I started prioritizing sleep. I managed my stress much more significantly. And, you know, you might already think that you're eating healthily and your sleep's okay. Although if you're menopausal, I'd be amazed if it was really good. You know, you might be doing exercise, but you're not getting the results that you used to get. It baffles so many people. It baffled me for a while. And if you want help with, you know, getting the body that you wanted to have or that you want to have, and you're piling on pounds, you're not really understanding why, please do get in touch, because it's something that I help with an awful lot of ladies in the menopausal years. Something I've learnt myself, and it does work. So on top of that, sort of menopausal years are technically associated with sort of high levels of stress and anxiety, and that can make you sweat too. In fact, we have two types of sweat glands. You have eccrine and apocrine glands, and unlike sweat, which results from sort of heavy exercise and living in a hot climate, that sort of watery sweat, which is odorless, we have something called anxiety sweat, and that comes from the apocrine glands. It's basically, apocrine glands are found in our armpits and our groin areas where we have hair. And when we're stressed, the apocrine glands release a sort of a milky fluid, and that can combine with the bacteria on our skin, and that's when we get that smell developing. Apocrine glands actually don't become effective until we're into puberty, which is why kids don't get BO. But it could also be why you're noticing a change in how you smell during the menopause, because apocrine glands are stimulated by our sex hormones. And so, you know, it's those hormones that are causing the symptoms through menopause and obviously body odor and sweating. The good news is that after menopause, it all tends to settle down again, and our hormones will eventually settle down, and this issue itself will probably settle down as well. But until then, there are ways that there are things that we can do in order to make ourselves feel a bit fresher. So tying menopause and sweating together, the problem is that when we sweat more, we tend to use more antiperspirant. And that is actually part of the problem. So when you're using antiperspirant, you're actually blocking the pores that are underneath the armpits, and the body has to sweat. So it sweats somewhere else. And often that goes down into the groin. Can also be the hands and feet, but they don't have the amount of apocrine glands like the groin does. So that's the issue. The easiest thing to do is to start using deodorants instead of antiperspirants. They're going to help your body just to sweat as it should do, but will help to sort of camouflage the fragrance when sweat hits the bacteria on our skin, which can cause that smell. If I were you, I'd do a search on Google and look for healthy antiperspirants. There's loads and loads out there. I personally use a little block of Himalayan rock salt. This has been going for years and years already. I literally come out the shower and I'm damp and I just rub it on my armpits. For me, that works really, really well. A long distance hiking friend of mine, she's got my Nude. Anyway, uses Nude, N-U-U-D, and that contains microsilver, which helps to attack the bacteria responsible for creating that smelly sweat. That works really, really well. If I was away, like hiking or camping or doing something where I know I'm not going to be able to clean myself very well, I would use Nude. But for the daily stuff, I just use my Himalayan rock salt. I love it. Other things that you can do are to make sure that you're using unfragrant soap, so you're not upsetting the natural bacteria and balance on the skin. Wear clean underwear, and if you have to change it more than once a day or twice a day, just change it more than once or twice a day. It's just one of those things that you might need to do. Choose clothing to suit your activity. So, ideally choose natural fibers, wool, silk, cotton. And for exercise, a lot of sort of more updated exercise brands are putting microsilver into their clothing and antibacterial properties, but also make sure to wash your exercise gear really regularly so you don't get that buildup of bacteria. I remember watching a program once about jeans and how often people wash their jeans. And it was just like scary because they hardly ever did. And it wasn't just the bacteria inside the jeans, it was the bacteria outside that they got from sitting in, park benches, the tube, trains, buses, cars, this and that. And so, do be aware that bacteria will grow on your clothes as well. If you wear tights or tight-fitting trousers, you're not allowing air to circulate. So avoid covering with tight, lots of layers of clothes. You want to encourage air circulation. And if you spend a long time sitting down, I have one of these. It's an orthopedic cushion. You can get them off Amazon. They don't cost an awful lot. They support your lumbar spine, which is really good if you spend a lot of time sitting down at the desk. But also they've got a hole in the middle. And that essentially means that you've got air around your bits and pieces. So it's going to keep your posture more upright and it's going to keep that air circulating. They're also really comfortable. If you use a deodorant for intimate areas, I would highly recommend not to, but if you do, use one that's got safe fragrance or no fragrance. But then deodorant, no fragrance, I don't know. I'm a real skeptic about intimate wipes and deodorants and things. I just think we just need to keep ourselves clean. Also, if you are prone to yeast infections, cut out your sugars, reduce your sugars, or ideally cut them out. Yeast infections love sugar in the body. You can also increase the amount of magnesium and zinc that you're eating. They are known to be helpful in combating body odor. And zinc, for instance, you can find that in oysters, tofu, chicken, yogurt, mushrooms, shitache. I never know how to say it. Sorry. And foods high in magnesium, which like spinach and pumpkin and lima beans, tuna, brown rice, almonds. You could grab a razor, but be careful. Because apocrine glands are in the hairy areas, if you haven't got hair, there's not so much stuff to catch the bacteria. So that might help as well. Manage your stress. meditation, yoga, walking in nature. Stress is a major issue through the menopause anyway, because of our adrenal glands, but that is going to help to quieten your mind. It's going to be good for your adrenal health. Deep breathing techniques are incredibly important. I suggest to all my psychotherapy clients who come in with anxiety to learn how to deep breathe. It's proven scientifically to relax the body. And in fact, if you want my deep breathing ebook, it's like Breathing for Health ebook. It goes into all sorts, plus the resources that I share with my anxiety clients to help reduce manage your stress more effectively. I've got a link. If you're watching this on YouTube, I'll put a link below in the comments. If you're watching this on Instagram, I'll click the Linktree link underneath my bio, and it's there. I think it's called Healthy Sleeping ebook, something like that. You can eat more sage. Sage has got a really long history of being used to combat excessive perspiration, but also be aware that you're probably going to have to use it for about 8 weeks to notice any significant difference. And also sage contains a volatile compound called thujone, and that is a neurotoxin, which is has got a known convulsion producing effect. So be really careful with that. For that reason, do not use sage essential oils orally, because of the fact that essential oils, the sage, is so concentrated. Drink plenty of water. When we are dehydrated, your sweat will become more concentrated, and that means the smell is going to be stronger as well. And then finally, if your body odour's got like a fruity or a bleach-like scent, you probably might want to chat to your doctor. Fruity odour can be a sign of diabetes, and a bleach scent may be a sign of something up with your kidneys or your liver. So just go and get that double checked. Other accompanying symptoms to watch out for are like a swollen thyroid, bulging eyes, vision problems, unintended weight loss, more frequent bowel movements, and even trembling in your hands and fingers. So if you're experiencing any of those along with excessive body odor, go and just get checked up by your doctor. So that's it. So thanks so much for hanging out with me today. I hope it was helpful. If you've got anything you want me to chat about in future episodes on the future Menopause Monday, do let me know, because it's really fascinating to hear what your individual struggles are, and I can add it to my list of topics that I'm going to cover. As always, if you found it helpful, please give me a thumbs up. And if you're watching this on YouTube, click my subscribe button so that you don't miss any future Menopause Mondays. And if you want to catch or grab that copy of my Healthy Deep Breathing for Health book, and also have the anxiety related resources that go with that, either click the link below if you're watching this on YouTube. If you're catching it on Instagram, go to my Linktree, which is just underneath my bio, and you can click for the Healthy Sleeping Habits ebook or something. I can't quite remember what. Breathing for Health, it might be. Did I just say Healthy Sleeping Habits? That's there too. I can help you with your healthy sleeping habits too. I think it was a healthy breathing for life or something. It's there, you'll work it out. And then that comes with the anxiety related resources as well. Just the sort of the things that I share with my anxiety clients, which actually over the long term make a massive amount of difference, sort of focusing on the fear, facing our fears, the what ifs, how to actually sort of gauge the cost of inaction when we are firmly rooted in our fears, as well as other things. So you might find those helpful. So by all means, grab those. And I really appreciate you sticking with me so far, and have a great rest of your day, and look forward to seeing you again soon.